Okay, so what are we up to? Reason number 10 million why we shouldn't be going after trans people. And unfortunately, this is the only way to get a lot of cis people to understand why going after trans people is bad. Because obviously empathy doesn't work. They don't have that. So you gotta meet them where they live. And in this case is horrible, horrible stories of things that happen to cis people, specifically cis women, simply because people assume that men are supposed to look one way, women are supposed to look another. So anyway, with that rambling preamble, masculine cis woman forced into men's prison based on her appearance. I'm sorry, what? See, this is what I keep saying. Because of this war on trans people, people seem to think that they have to catch who's trans. And so, because not all women look a certain way, not all men look a certain way, there's going to be overlap. And so then shit like this happens, and I just hope she got out of it unscathed. Because that certainly was not something I would wish upon her. I mean, it's not like this woman was anti-trans. She just happens to look masculine. Anyway, moving to the article. A masculine presenting cis woman in Scotland was misgendered and mistakenly sent to a men's prison, news outlets in the UK report. It was only when the more thorough search was carried out by prison staff that it came to light that the prisoner was missing some vital parts you would expect a man to have, one source shared with the Telegraph. You mean like a penis? I don't know why they're beating around the bush on that. I mean, what else do men have that women definitely do not? Oh yes, a penis. That, and they usually do not have, men usually have a prominent Adam's apple. Usually people say, oh, women don't have an Adam's apple. Yes, they do. It's just not prominent. But they do have one because that's kind of needed for the voice box to work. But anyway, let's move on. So I guess they strip searched her, or they just sent her into the showers and realized, oopsies. I don't know. The unidentified prisoner appeared in court last week and was remanded to the men's facility instead of the country's only women's prison. Exactly where the mix-up occurred was unclear. The bungle has sparked a police review. Okay, she appeared in court. So it wasn't just the police. It was the judge. And possibly the prosecutor. Because I can only assume that her lawyer, if she had one, would know that she is a she. What the hell? What the hell, Scotland? Your men walk in kilts. Surely you know that you can't just look at someone and assume shit. What the hell? An assumption was made based on someone's appearance and not much else, said a source. Gender in the prison system has become such a hot topic that management will be mortified by this. As they should be, because what the hell? So we are now above believing people. This is awesome. Again, just because a woman looks more masculine doesn't make her any less of a woman. Just because a man might look more feminine doesn't make him any less of a man. Again, you guys have men walking in kilts. That is your culture. How are you so not into the difference? Oh my God. The source called it an embarrassment for everyone involved. Well, yeah. As I said, I just hope that this poor woman didn't get attacked while she was in the men's prison. The woman spent the night in the all-male prison after the mistake was uncovered. Wait, what? She still spent the night in the all-male after the mistake? Huh? What are we doing here? She was transferred to a women's jail the following day. Oh, I get it. It was probably too late for the transfer to be made, but I hope that they put her in a cell by herself because depending on how long those men had been there, I wouldn't trust them near a woman. I mean, depending on what kind of men they are, how long it's been since they've seen a woman, I would be worried. Police Scotland said the incident was under investigation after incomplete information about their gender resulted in the woman's incarceration in the wrong facility. What the hell was incomplete? Did you forget to ask her? What gender do you identify as? Seriously, what? How do you miss that? Because obviously just looking at her wasn't good enough for you. We are reviewing our custody procedures to ensure this does not happen again, they added. Last year, the Scottish Prison Service was plunged into controversy after backlash over the conviction of trans woman Isla Bryson, who was sentenced to 8 years in a women's prison after being found guilty of sexually assaulting 2 women before transitioning. I have to admit, that one is a doozy. I'm not sure what to do with that one because he identifies as a woman now. Well, she identifies as a woman now. But she did attack women. That is a tough one. But like I said, what do you do for lesbians who sexually assault women? I mean, do you put them in the women's prison or not? Most likely you put them in a women's prison, so maybe put her in a cell by herself. But anyway, SPS has since instituted guidelines that would remand prisoners found guilty of violent crimes to a facility that aligned with their sex assigned at birth, except in exceptional circumstances. So yeah, that's totally going to solve the problem. I can possibly see how things could go so horribly wrong. Nope, can't think of a single instance. There are 23 transgender prisoners in Scotland as of January 2023, 19 of whom are trans women, according to SPS. Prison officials wouldn't comment on the misgendered detainee, but said the rights and well-being of all prisoners were a priority for the system. Are you sure about that? Because, I'm sorry, making trans women go to the men's prison, I'm not sure how that's I don't know, a procedure that's meant to keep anybody safe. I mean, seriously, how is that keeping a trans woman safe? It's not. Anyway, we have procedures in place to keep everyone safe when newly admitted, including keeping them separate from the mainstream population where appropriate, they said. Okay. That's at least better. But still, Yeah, trans women, especially if they assaulted other women, fine. If you want to keep them in their own separate wing, okay, that's fine. But just keeping them in a separate wing just because they're trans, that's a bit problematic. Anyway, that is the end of that article, and that just blew my mind when I read it because, again, what are we doing here? You cannot look at, I mean, granted, most people you probably can look at and peg, that's a woman, that's a man. But I don't know how many times I rode in the car with my parents and they're furiously trying to figure out if they're seeing a man or a woman. And I'm just like, does it really matter? You're seeing a person. It's not like they're trying to figure it out so they know which pronoun to use for them. They're literally just seeing them, walking down the street or riding a bike or whatever, and trying to figure out their gender. It's why? Why are you trying to figure this out? It just boggles my mind. Why is that so important to you? Again, if you're going to talk to them and you're curious what pronoun to use or how to address them, that's understandable. I would find a way to talk to them without the need of having to address like sir or ma'am. Then you don't have to worry about, oops, I made a mistake. But just seeing people walking across the street? No. Don't see why that's necessary. So it's just this idea, this innate idea that we need to be able to see this is a man, this is a woman. And at the end of the day, I mean, I can understand to some extent you want to know who you're dealing with. But at the same time, why does it matter so much? Why not just go by what they tell you? Okay, you can figure it out. They could be either agender or androgynous or non-binary, whatever term they want to use. Or they could be mid-transition. Who knows? Just treat them like a person. They'll tell you what they are. It's really not that hard. Anyway, that is all I have for this video. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one.